happy to host you here. We are happy that you responded to our invitation to come and we have this interaction. Honorable Minister and honorable members of Parliament and colleagues, is that today's engagement is about bringing you up to speed of what is happening in the sector, so that we find ways of how we can move together as a sector, because we are serving the young people. The entire idea also is about networking, to get to know the different members of Parliament, to get to interact with the minister and other colleagues, so that we see how we can continue moving forward.
A key output for us as the Parliamentary Forum today and the members of Parliament is to understand the work that you are doing, and then understand quick areas of plugging in the work that you're doing that traverses different regions of the country. We have MPs here who come from those regions. How then do they come in and start immediately to support that work and be involved on ground in mobilizing, in advocacy, etc.
We want to make sure that there is that working relationship between all of us, especially in this space of the young people. We have one voice. If the National Youth Council is pushing something, then the members of Parliament will also come, then the civil society, such that when we put our heads and our voices together, I can assure you we'll get the space that we want at Parliament. We really need to push those issues in the Youth Manifesto and make sure that at least something is done. And I will also implore our members of Parliament to look through that manifesto and see where we can start from.
I want to assure you one thing. This is one of the most active group that you've gotten. I've also followed them through some other activities at Parliament, and I want to assure that they're very, very active. When we truly work with them, I'm sure we shall get the best out of them. We have a lot of hope in you, able members of Parliament, and I want to assure you, we are here to work with you. Just know, bano bamwe. You get it?
How can we work together? One, I see members of Parliament, and I'm happy that we have a good presentation here, can support us CSOs, but also the youth organizations through advocacy, resource mobilization, legislative action, and constituency level mentorship. We believe that your participation in this will allow to bridge the gap between the grassroots youth initiatives and the national policy frameworks. Honorable members, we would ask you to scrutinize and lobby for increased budgetary allocations towards youth-focused ministries and affirmative actions initiatives. We have so many youth programs the government is running or has promoted, but not many have reached the right, I would say, entities when it comes to ground to implement. And yet we have so many youth organizations on ground whose capacities have been built and, they're not functional. So we believe us collaborating together under the PESA program, this is an opportunity. This increases community sensitization, where these organizations, together with the members of Parliament, can mobilize community to support these organizations to change the negative mindsets surrounding youth-led initiatives.
Particularly for us, the National Youth Manifesto is our core legislative document through which we are engaging the youth members of Parliament, because it's an agenda that we've developed consultatively and across the country. So we want to continuously engage you using this manifesto. So we are open because we are supporting your work. Like all these debate programs that we run, we are very open to have you as either key guests or people who will sit on panels or people who will deliver keynote addresses. We'll always keep invitations open. Then also networking events and platforms. So those are the areas where we feel we are going to be able to engage the youth members of Parliament, but also the Youth Parliamentary Forum on Youth Affairs. And we are always open to partner so as to transform youth outcomes in Uganda. Thank you very much.
We are going to have Faraja.
Outcome we're looking at is strengthening capacities of youth groups, and youth organizations to effectively engage and influence decision-making processes. And one of the key things that we felt that we could not, in the Faraja model, we cannot talk about youth having voices without talking about youth economic empowerment. And I think that's now one of the programs we are doing with our partners, where we focus also on economic empowerment of young people and also the other projects that we're looking at. For the youth MPs, one of the key things we do understand, the constituencies are big, number one, and the expectations are high in terms of money. You know, when you go to meet young people, they will want money, they'll want different things. So one of the key things we felt as implementing partners or development partners is like, how can we work with you to lessen the burden, but most importantly, to make your engagements with the community more affordable.
So at this point, let me invite the African Youth Development Link, the YDL, and then the Youth Coalition on Electoral Democracy.
These are the key 5 flagship issues that we feel our MPs can run away with. That is decent jobs, quality education, mental health, SRHR, meaningful youth participation, and investment in digital transformation. Our call to action is that how we wish that these issues are integrated in the youth legislative agenda, but then also how can these issues be integrated in budgets. And then also, how can you collaborate with youth organizations to ensure that by end of 5 years, at least we will have some boxes to tick on what we have achieved as a collective. And then how can we promote accountability for the implementation of these issues. But then also, as civil society organizations, we will also have our own advocacy framework on the issues as a tool that enables us to assess what has been achieved with regard to the issues that are entailed in the manifesto. So thank you so much.
We will look at youth responsive tax laws and budgets. I think every year we pass tax laws to raise resources. Every year we pass a budget to for those laws to finance that budget. I think we will need our MPs within that conversation. Of course, that also links in with the tax policy reforms that we may want, but that can even go beyond, because now we're having conversation around national debt, we're having conversations around trade, cross-border trade, having conversations now, serious conversations around climate finance. And I think this is also where we will have, or we expect our legislators to work with us. Of course, the other one is civic education about resource mobilization. Like I said, government will always ask what is the alternative. If we don't have the money, or if they think they don't have the money, how can we always show them where this money is? And of course, lastly, being parliament, besides legislation, I think there's also the role of accountability. And of course, this is where we'll be coming to say that these are resources mobilized, allocated, but also we want to see the value for money when it comes to youth programs.
One of my observations has become that we are looking at more outputs than outcomes. Now, for example, if we have been able to push for the reservation scheme under the PPDA guidelines, where we have a percentage reservation of how much young people, women, and people with disabilities at both national and local level can be reserved for under the procurement guidelines, how are we following through some of these actions to make sure our young people are prepared? Because the argument is that our young people are not prepared. The question is, where are these young people?
And our main work basically falls under governance and accountability, leadership development, civic engagement, youth economic empowerment, but also very importantly, we do research, we do policy advocacy, and general advocacy. And they majorly want to enhance the civic competencies of young people, but also find ways of how you can increase meaningful engagement of young people so that they are able to influence public policies, but also influence the legislative agenda. And that is one of the reasons why we are having this meeting today. Today's meeting is aimed at strengthening youth coordination. We have the youth members of parliament, we have the youth minister, we have the National Youth Council, we have the youth organizations that are supporting young people. But we need to find out how we can speak with one voice so that then we are able to serve our young people. Key areas of collaboration that I think we can get interested in as an organization, but also as different partners and different agencies that are here. areas of around youth leadership involvement. The truth is that most of our young people are struggling when it comes to leadership. So how can we hold their hands, mentor them, get them exposed, guide them, so that then we can have the next members of parliament like you? How can we collaborate to ensure that we have a youth legislative agenda that is going to help us move for the next 5 years? Now, the beauty is that we have the National Youth Manifesto that is going to run for 5 years, from 2026 to 2031. So how can we use that as a basis to develop, or maybe to think about having a youth legislative agenda that our youth members of parliament can use for the next 5 years? There are so many other things that we can collaborate on. Others have been talked about, but just because of time, allow me to stop here. Honorable members, in case you have a question, in case you have any submission that may want to pass to us. Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable.
How can young people be empowered to move beyond complaints and actively contribute solutions to community challenges? There is usually what we say that we are involving young people, but to what extent of involvement do we bring them on board? I thank you.
I don't want to be a politician to come in the room, tell young people, you know what we are doing well, babysitting. We need to talk about where on our side as young people, where we are going wrong. The government is putting everything for us, but we are not progressing. And also we need to, give the information to the young people. But when you see the people who were given money, the majority would, instead of doing business, they marry. Instead of doing business, they shift, they come to Kampala. So in that way, when the government start to assess how they are performing, they see there are no progress. We are not cooperative. We are not willing to take back the money, meaning there is a problem that we need to address as young people and a youth organization.
60% of people, of Ugandans, are just below 18. The UK is going to be dealing with a serious crisis in 10 years' time. I think Uganda is headed for the same. Because right now we just, react when we see young people behaving in ways we don't understand, when we see the culture of young people today. But it's only that the stakeholders are looking at young people when they become youth. And I feel like all of us as stakeholders should pick interest in the young people, in our brothers and sisters below our age, in the children we are giving birth to. Personally, once again, I want to commit myself. Programs that are in that direction, I would want to learn and to also make a meaningful contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
This is the first step. First of all, understanding the work that you have been doing, where are the opportunities for collaboration, and then now we come back and sit and work together to have that legislative agenda where we can hold each other accountable. So one of the areas of partnership is youth policy and legislative engagement. Very, very soon we are going to be back on your doors, knocking, because we are coming up with the youth legislative agenda. So we have to work together such that we all hold each other accountable.
So there is a huge problem around there. I think sustainably, if we are to address youth issues, let's catch them young.
This is why the partners that are here, some of us have implemented over 40 projects of youth. We have profiles of young people, some from prisons, some in community graduates that have started and grown and now employing other young people. How can the members of parliament help us to ensure that youth organizations or CSOs presented here are part of that planning, of that selection, so that we are able to recommend right organizations, young entrepreneurs or businesses that can benefit from these programs, which you will later document and see the progress.
So we still have government working in silos. In agriculture, there's employment. Wherever you can go, so how do we bring all these efforts into one's synchronized kind of agenda?
Okay. If we know what you're planning to do, we can incorporate those things. As long as we do not know them, we will end up doing different things from you. And it will seem like you are going east and we are going west. One of the things that we should seek to do is find one or two issues that all of us agree on, The issues are many. But we agree to one or two things that we will collectively push. We will even come up with a mechanism of tracking progress. And all of us across the board will have a way in which we contribute to it. Short of that, I think we will not be able to achieve very much. Thank you very much.
We are happy that we have noted much of what you are doing. They have put a very big question to us. What do we want to work on? What are our priorities?
I would just like to appreciate the work you're doing and the work you've done. We are committed to working with you, and we are creating a very big force, and we want our forum to be the biggest in Parliament. Because we know, so we commit to working together with you. And my only question, which is a rhetorical one, is what has already been passed? What are we collectively doing wrong? Thank you.
Finally, I want to thank you, colleagues, or the partners we have here. Thank you so much for really, for the powerful presentation, for the information you're sharing. All of us, we agree, because we are dealing in very many things, so we come up with two things on what we want to push, and we can be able to come up with a mechanism on how we can track the progress. So I promise from our side, as the members of Parliament, through the Parliamentary Youth Forum, we shall come up with our legislative agenda and our major two priorities on what we need to work on. So at this moment, allow me to invite our youthful minister to give her keynote address. I thank you so much.
When people say Uganda's population is young, they imagine that we must be performing better than any other country out there, because they know that the young people have the energy. But the problem is we are not translating that energy into productivity, economically and in all aspects. So I am ready to work with you. So I know that your team is focused, and I am also here to support you. Feel free. I am also work in progress. I also have a lot to learn, but I am not afraid of learning. So I will also consult you where you see us also not doing as we should to help you. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to correct. I'm a young person, and learning is every day, okay? So I want us to work together to liberate our young people. Allow me with these few words to once more say thank you to all of you who have been doing tremendous work. Some of your successes, we have not seen them even when they are there. Maybe you just need to do more work to enable us also do what? Appreciate them. I say all this for God and my country.